Hi, my name is Christine Ann Rivest, and I am the author of the Eras series. My first two books, Eras of a Knight and Eras of Husband and Father, are basically a biography of a knight. In the first book, we see how Damien wants to adventure into becoming a knight, and in the second book, we see how Damien handles adventures of another kind. In my third book, Eras, the Book of Runes, we focus mainly on Corey, Damien's stepson, and in this book there is something that has not been seen anywhere, read anywhere, watched on TV, seen in documentaries, seen in movies. I did a bit of research to make sure it wasn't seen anywhere, and as far as I know, I'm the only one. No, I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll have to buy my book, Eras, the Book of Runes, to find out what it is. On Twitter, Facebook, and I've asked some students if they had a chance to interview an author, what questions would they ask? I'm going to answer these questions now. If I were to hazard a guess, I would say that it comes from my parents, mostly my mother, because when I was little, she always showed us how to create things out of nothing. She used to tell us fantastic stories about what we were doing and how we were doing it. So I would guess I got my creative side from my mom. From my dad, I learned how to build stuff. So putting one and one together, building things and creating a story is almost identical. So, yeah, I would say I got most of my creative side from my parents. I have always enjoyed writing. Ever since I can remember, I've always had a paper and pencils and pens not far away from my hand, in case an idea struck or just wanting to write just about anything. I've always had paper and pencils handy ever since I was little. I did have a poem published in 1996 in a book called Beyond the Horizon, a book of poetry. Over the years, I've written quite a few different things. Mind you, none of it's been published because it's rather explicit. So, yeah, I've always enjoyed writing. Did I ever think I was going to write a book? No, not until a couple of years ago. Honestly, I never thought I would be an author. It just happened thanks to my daughter and her insight and things that happened with her in school. I really enjoy being an author. I hope people enjoy my stories too. The idea to write any kind of book began with an essay my daughter received in school. She wasn't exactly sure how to write the essay, so she asked for my help. As I was showing her what to do, the idea for this book came into being, and all kinds of ideas began flowing. That's how the story Eras of a Knight began. And from there, Eras, Husband and Father, and Eras, the Book of Runes, and I'm currently working on my fourth one. I have always liked medieval things and fantasy stories from that time. That interest, coupled with the ideas that came from when I helped my daughter, is what drew me to write my first book about a knight. It was while Eras of a Knight was being created that the idea to go deeper into Damien's life developed, hence my second book, Eras of Husband and Father. During the creation of my second book, ideas for the third book, Eras, the Book of Runes, came to life, as I mentioned earlier. Yes, there is one more book coming, which will be the last one in the Eras series. My fourth book will be called Eras, Corey Robinson, the Owner. I hope to have it completed and sent to my publisher by December 2013. I'm not sure if I'll branch out into other kinds of books, because fiction and fantasy, you can write just about anything and not be questioned about it because it is fantasy and not reality. With fantasy, there's so much and so many directions you can go that, no, I really don't think I'll branch out into something different. If one day I do write another book, aside from the Eras series, it'd probably be a child's book, which would be best because, again, it is kind of fantasy that touches a bit of reality. Maybe, I don't know, with all the explicit stuff I've written, maybe one day I'll send it to Harlequin and who knows what can come of that. But for now, I'll stick with fiction and fantasy. My stories are completely made up, therefore not much research is needed. I did research one item for my third book, just to be certain that what I wrote was not found anywhere. And I'm really happy that I haven't found it anywhere. I know I'm repeating myself, I'm so sorry. But I'm really excited about this thing. And there you go. All the towns and villages and stuff like that are completely made up, as well as the characters in my book. Yes, my children are mentioned in my book, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But there you go. No, not much research at all went into my books. I enjoy writing just about anywhere. In the winter, I'll sit at my desk inside, because obviously outside it's too cold. But in the summertime, I'm always with my pen and paper and pencils and whatever outside, because it's such a pleasant place, and being that it's so peaceful and so tranquil being in nature, my ideas just flow, and I find it a whole lot easier to write outside. So yeah, my favorite place is outside. I always carry a pen with me wherever I go, or a pencil. I usually have it stuck in my bun when I'm outside. There was one day when I was walking in the woods, just to get out of the house for a little bit, and an idea struck, and I had no paper on me, so I looked around for either a birch tree or a piece of bark or something of the like to write on, and I couldn't find anything. But I found a huge oak leaf. So I picked that up, grabbed my pencil out of my hair, wrote my idea on the oak leaf. It was actually quite interesting. No, I don't find it hard to write at all. I usually just let the ideas flow, and when I put pen to paper, it's like I'm the tool and the pen is the writer, kind of. I don't find it hard at all, because I'm a very imaginative person and I let my ideas flow the way they want to. So no, it's not hard for me to write, not at all. It can come from anywhere. Usually it's a simple word that someone will say that sends my mind tumbling with ideas. Sometimes one of my animals can do something and it'll trigger a thought, and that thought process has to do with something going on in my book. Or it could really come from anywhere when a writer's block hits. I can't really say that it's from one place in particular. Out there in the world, there's so much going on and so many things that happen. So yeah, if something resembles what I want to write, and I'm stuck because I'm not exactly sure what to write, then if somebody says anything, does something, even a funny look, that's what will help me unblock my my writer's block. My kids did. Their attitudes and the way they see certain things helped develop my stories. Also, I wanted them to feel proud of who they are and what they are and where they come from. So, by putting them and using them in my books, it gives them this sense of they can do whatever they want if they set their mind to it. Of course, there are certain exceptions that you just don't do, but by using them, it gives them such a good outlook to life, and really to show them that they can be successful no matter what. I'm proud to say my children are what inspired me in this story. They each have a different part to do, and yeah, I'm really proud of that. And yeah, it is them entirely that inspired me to use them. My main male character, Damien Galloway, is inspired by Mr. Stephen Belmar, since he is the one that got my writing career started, because he was my daughter's teacher that had given her the essay to write, which helped me to develop my writing career. And it's thanks to him. So I figured, as a tribute to Mr. Belmar, I would use him as my main male character. As for my female main character, Chandra Emerson, Chandra's looks, the way she looks very much like Demi Lovato. For her attitude is inspired by Carol Voyer, my best friend, because Carol's way of looking at life and seeing things and understanding things is such a beautiful thing that I wanted a bit of that in my female character as well. And yes, some of Chandra has part of me in her too. I can't really say exactly what, but since she does come from me, there's just a little bit of me in there too. As for all the other characters, of course my children inspired themselves because they are each named in my books. Charles, Albert, and Vanessa, they inspired those characters. And the other little secondary people are just made up people, so no, there's no inspiration for them. Oh yes, definitely. My characters are very real to me anyways. In the beginning of the first book, they were made up people. You know, Damien, Chandra, Vanessa, Charlie, Albert, Maureen, Amelia, all of them were just made up people to start with. But as I continued writing my books, it seemed that they all took on a mind of their own. And instead of me telling their story, they told me theirs. So yeah, they are very real to me. I really can't say that I'll be as popular as Mrs. Rowling. I would love to think so, but that depends on you guys, my readers. If you think my story is as good as hers, then yeah, maybe one day I could be as popular as her, but I'm not expecting it. It would be fun, but hey, I just enjoy writing my stories, so if I become popular, great. If I don't, I don't. It's okay. For me, the best thing about being an author is to be able to put my ideas into a story and share them with the world. It's such a creative way to put things out there. It's like you can draw pictures, but those pictures don't always say what's in your mind, whereas writing a story, it does. So that's the best thing for me. I can put whatever's in here out there in the world and let everybody enjoy the way I think. Let your imagination flow. Never be afraid to put on paper what's in your mind. All stories are good stories, whether they're made up, whether they're reality, whether they be something as silly as writing a book on stubbing your toe. All ideas are good. All stories are good. Never be afraid to share what's in your mind. Christopher Paolini, I hope I'm saying that right. He's my favorite author. He wrote Aragon, Eldest, Brisingr, and Inheritance. I have a passion for dragons, and the way he brings his dragons to life, as well as his characters, the way he just makes your mind go, and you can almost swear you're living it as you're reading the story. You can picture the dragon just sitting there beside you. I love the way this author writes. I certainly hope he doesn't just stop with those 4 books. I can't wait to see if he writes something else. I have no clue. Right now I'm working on the 4th and last book in the Eras series. So after that, I don't know. It depends on what ideas I have and how creative I can be with those ideas. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I'm hoping that one day my books will be translated into many different languages, but it also depends on how well they sell. For now, it doesn't look too promising. But then again, who knows? I'm very, very unknown to the world. So give it, I'd say maybe 4 or 5 years before I can actually say definitely yes, my books will be translated. It depends on you, my public. If you're curious to have my books translated into French, Italian, German, whatever, why not contact Publish America and ask them to have my books translated? I'd like to thank all of you for helping me create this video. You have asked me questions and I have answered them the best of my ability. And if you have any other questions, feel free to message me here on my website, or you can get a hold of me on Facebook or Twitter. These will be following I'll put up the links for them. Therefore, thank you again, and it's been my pleasure answering your questions. I hope you enjoy my books.